Dusky boy.
What's up?
And my brother Ben. Smiling.
Cool ass shades.
The amazing shades.
Alrighty. Make sure everything sings. All right, man. How you doing? Damian, Lemar, Hudson. How's it going, man?
I'm doing well, Dusky boy. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. Mr. Voyager, Mr. Love, Mr. DLH. Singer, songwriter, music producer, photographer, all-around artist, and also a father. How's that been? How's it been being a father?
Father is, that's the best part. Father is working hard. Father is hard working. Father is a reason to work even harder. Before I was a dad, I worked hard, but it was a different kind of work. There was a different reasoning behind everything. Oprah says you got to have an intention behind everything.
Yeah.
And my intention is not only to make the world a better place by spreading my message of love and music and believing in oneself, motivating individuals, but also to, of course, provide for my family. First and foremost, that's my first focus, providing for my wife, providing for my daughter, as a father should focus, as a husband should focus on. That's the oath that you sign when you put that ring on her hand, So outside of that, my intention in creating this music, my intention in creating my worlds of music and videos is really to inspire people to become the best versions of themselves, to maximize their potential. I believe everyone has a gift.
Yeah.
You have a gift. Brother Ben back there has a gift.
Yeah, definitely. How has having a daughter inspired your creativity and your music?
How has having a daughter inspired my creativity and my music?
Like, have you looked at things differently, or?
I think there's a bit more weight on top of things now. I guess things matter a little bit more now.
Okay.
But I don't know. I think even outside of that, in a way, even though things matter more now, it's less about caring. I think I cared a lot more in the past, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I cared too much. You can't care too much.
Yeah. I feel that, definitely.
On certain things, of course. On other things you do have to care about, like, your family you have to care about. Your relationships you have to care about. Your accounts you have to care about,
You care about the things that actually means things. Like, people get hung up too much on little things and caring about that. And yeah, I'm sure that's opened your eyes, definitely having a child.
100%.
Sure. Yeah.
It's this day and age too, right? Moving into 2023.
Yeah.
If you're hearing this, it's probably 2023.
Yeah.
And people care too much about the little things because we've been micromanaged and programmed to care so much about the little things. Literally, these notifications pop up on screens and, programming us to care about things that don't really matter.
Yeah.
Numbers and likes and, views and, this person replied. It's like, does it really matter? This is what really matters, this conversation here.
It does, yeah.
This is where the source is.
Yeah, sometimes I get too stuck or it happens to everyone, but so sucked into social media, just watching, whether it's TikTok or Instagram, just for like an hour. And then once you put down the phone, you're like, wow, that's not even real life. Like, you could have all these great comments about you and everything, but it doesn't really matter. It's like the real conversations and like real talks with people is what kind of matters to me, at least in my eyes. Like, I've had people, and I see it like on your videos and my videos and other people's just comments, like very positive comments. And that's good because they're spreading positivity into the world, but it's also that it's just like, it's not natural either. It's just interesting to me.
Sure. Yeah, there's like that yin yang, right? Like the good and the bad. Is the good really good? Is a positive comment even really positive at the end of the day? Like, it's what it is a distraction to the real. This is the real, even though this will turn into a real.
Yeah.
This realness is where individuals have the opportunity to grow, to learn, a conversation between human and human, and I think the trap to avoid in social media is the difference between consuming and creating.
Yeah.
And the last thing you want to do is overconsume. Yes, you can consume some content because there's some inspiration there, there's information there, there's education there,
Definitely.
but you don't want to overconsume to where you're wrapped away, hours gone, phone draining because you're just flipping through. That's overconsumption. That's a drug. That's a problem. That's bad.
It's also common. That's very common.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and whereas if you're a creator, I think when we get back to creating, we get back to the source, this human to human thing that's happening right now. This is creating.
Yeah.
And within that creation, beautiful things happen. You can inspire people. People can have breakthroughs, So that creation process of social media, I think there's something beautiful about that, because I like to equate creation much like the Holy Spirit, I don't know if you're religious or spiritual at all, but I think to create something is us getting closer to God in a way, to create something from nothing.
Yeah.
And even as social media dominates the world, that form of creation there is a sense of spirituality there, which we have to be conscious of. Hopefully that's not too deep and I'm not spinning.
No, I agree with you on that one. Because life in general was a creation. And I think we're all here to create too.
Right.
Everyone has different things that they're doing. Like maybe you make music, I make podcasts, but this other guy makes furniture or something like that. Like everyone has a purpose in creating something.
Right.
And with the social media and technology, it helps create creatives, but I think it also makes other people less creative too. Because especially for TikTok, people can go viral on things with TikToks, but not all of them are so creative because they have all the tools and everything, right? They didn't really learn too much. It's just in the app. I don't know if that's making any sense. So that's
does.
Just how
Does make
not
sense.
Everyone on TikTok's creative, but I'm not hating on people on TikTok at all because I've made TikToks before, but it's just there's not as much time put into things, I don't think, anymore. It's just everyone wants to do it quickly just to create something just for views.
Right. And maybe a way to focus in on that, just to zoom in on that, would be saying not everyone on TikTok is as creative as they possibly could be, and maybe some individuals get, pushed to the top for whatever weird reason, a part of the algorithm. But at the same time, I would go on to say, just to play devil's advocate, if you create anything, you are a creator, right?
True.
I think it's so much better, even if I wasn't going to do anything, even if I just held my phone and I just looked here and I just stared at the screen and I posted that.
Yeah.
I think that's so much better than just scrolling nonstop.
It's very
you know
true.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's true.
Once again, it's the creator will always beat the consumer.
Yeah.
Because the creator is providing for the consumer, and the consumer consumes until there's nothing left, and they're drained, and then they're just sitting there, wasted your day consuming all day.
Yeah.
And this doesn't just relate to just TikTok and social media. It could also be TV. But of course, TV has now transitioned into social media. Now individuals, youth of the engine of the world today, youth is the engine of the world, and they are consuming through TikTok and social media and that form of, types of television. That is the new modern television. And once again, you have the creators that will always shine, no matter what age they are, no matter what talent level they have, no matter how gifted they are. The creator will always consume the consumer because the consumer is consuming the creator.
True. Going off of creation and creativity, you just released your latest album end of last November on your new label, In Voyager. Hashtag more success.
Yes, sir.
And before we get into it, what I took from the album cover, you kind of look like Neo from the Matrix. I don't know if you were going for that or not, but
there is a sense of Matrix there.
Yeah.
There is. Yes.
Definitely. From my perspective, I heard more of a mature sound from you in your work. I don't know if that it's true or not, but from your previous record earlier this year, self-titled Damian Lemar Hudson with Bobby Boy, and now transitioning to In Voyager. And like, what does hashtag, or what does more success mean to you? Because I've seen you've been doing these short format videos on Instagram or TikTok, YouTube Shorts, or whatever it is, and going up to people talking about people don't love anymore and hashtag more success. Like, what does that mean to you?
More success is a reflection of my experience in the industry in Los Angeles, California.
Yeah.
More success is me holding a mirror up to myself and manifesting what I want out of the world, what I want out of my career, what I want you to consume, what I want to teach you, the words and the secrets to success. The words and the secrets to more success are sprinkled all throughout that album. The words are to empower individuals and to bring them more success. That's the purpose. And to get back to the suit, the cover, the imagery, the one. It's funny, Voyager, in it, I say, you're not the one like George. I'm a million like Regis. And that, in a way, connects back to Neo. But I'm saying you're not the one like George Washington.
Yeah.
I'm a million like Regis. Whose line is it anyway? Or Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Correction. You dig what I'm saying? So that's, but at the same time, when I say I'm the one like Neo, because there's nothing but numbers around us, right? Just floating up and down in these green patterns.
True.
And we have the opportunity to shape that and to sculpt that into whatever we want that to be. You know, the spoon is not here. The spoon is bending. You know, it's really what you make of it. And that's what more success is all about. What do you want out of your life? How do you want to maximize your potential? What do you seek in terms of your passion, in terms of your ambition, in terms of your perseverance?
I saw a screenshot of this from your Spotify bio.
Yeah.
It says you were, so I'll just read this, but I'm going to kind of go in the middle of this. It says, you spent 5 years hustling as a singer, actor, songwriter, musician. And then after much success as a Renaissance artist, you left the country to play guitar with Stu in Abu Dhabi. So for myself too, but people watching, what exactly is a Renaissance artist from your definition?
I call myself a Renaissance artist because I touch everything.
Okay.
You know, I'm doing the mixing, I'm doing the marketing, I'm doing the director of photography, I'm doing the editing, I'm doing the visionary concept.
Yeah.
Bringing it to life. I am styling it, styled myself. I am, you know, putting all of my sauce on it. A Renaissance artist being, I touch it all. You know, there's nothing that I don't do. There's, you know, I produce, I sing, I rap, I act. It's like, what needs to happen? I'll dance if I have to. I don't want to. It's probably my least favorite skill or ability, but lately, you know what? I'm kind of at this stage, it's like, fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to start dancing on these hoes because it's like, fuck them. You know, like.
You don't care.
I stopped caring.
Yeah.
2018, 2019. Oh, man, I don't think I want to dance. You know, I don't know what the labels are going to think about me. You know, maybe they're going to stall my project because they don't like who I am as a person. Maybe I should try and, you know, like be this person that they want me to be. Fuck that. Just be yourself.
Yeah.
Because people like me for being me. People don't like me for trying to cater to them. You know what I'm saying? If that makes any sense. So my advice to anyone listening to this right now, just be yourself. Yeah. Especially if you're trying to be a creative in the field, if you're trying to grow, if you're trying to impress someone. I mean, first off, one should never try and impress someone. But I guess as an entertainer, let's rephrase it. You're trying to entertain someone.
Yeah.
If you're trying to entertain someone as a creator, as an artist, as whatever, you know, a photographer, a director, just be yourself. Put yourself into it. Don't put what you think they're gonna like, you know?
Yeah. I agree with that. To be yourself, because too many people aren't themselves, and not even we're not even talking about social media, just in life in general. Like people, I just wish people were more comfortable with themselves and just loved themselves more.
It's hard to be though,
It
because
is,
the world
yeah.
teaches us not to be.
It's
Your
true.
parents almost teach you not to be.
Yeah,
My dad almost taught me not to be. My dad tried to stop me from doing theater in a way by kind of like making fun of me, you know? People
I think
around me,
that's a good thing though.
you know, like my peers, high school, you know, used to be called gay, a fag, whatever, because I'm
Yeah.
dancing and I'm teaching myself to be a classically trained artist,
Yeah.
a Renaissance artist, an artist who understands all forms of artistry, not just sitting there rapping. You know, I started rapping when I was in school learning how to act. So I call myself a Renaissance artist because I touch it all. There's nothing that I won't touch. And if you don't want to do it, or if you can't do it, get out of the way and I'll do it for you.
Yeah.
Politely, please, just step aside. Let me handle this because
Yeah.
I can make this happen. I know I can. And you can too. You know, you're sitting here. You made this happen. Look at this. This is a
I know.
avant-garde podcast.
I never thought this would be going on. I never thought like I'd be sitting down here, like where we are right now on the railroad track talking to you. Like this is awesome to me.
Yeah, it's cool, man. This is a vibe. Anything's possible.
Anything is possible, yeah. And I can relate to also what you were saying earlier about either like a parent or friends basically just talking shit like on whatever you're doing. Like I've had that happen too, where both my parents tell me to not pursue anything in art and it sounds like basic and generic like a lot of people say, but just go to school and get like a 9-to-5 job to be comfortable. And like I just can't do it. Like I've been working since like sophomore year of high school, and I don't want to be in like a normal job forever. I wanted to create things and just like make the world a better place too, just in my form of art.
How old are you?
24.
24.
Yeah.
You got the whole world ahead of you, and you got a head start.
I know, but too many people, even myself too, sometimes like get in our heads just that we don't have that much time, even though we're so young. Even, to me, like even if you go into like your 40s or 50s, you still have some time on earth to like do whatever you want and create. But too many people just, when they get older, like they just use that age as I can't do this anymore. I'm too old. Like, why does that matter?
Shout out Lou Reed. But let's take a walk on the wild side.
Yeah.
Because the truth is, you really don't have a lot of time. And unfortunately, you're right. You don't have a lot of time. And you actually have to realize that. You have to program your brain into understanding that. Because there's only 24 hours in a day.
Yeah.
You're only really able to work hard for about maybe 50%, 60% of that day. Then you start getting tired, or you need to eat, or you need to rest, or you need to refresh, right? That's not a lot of time. And tomorrow is not promised.
It's true.
Therefore, no, you don't have a lot of time. No, it's like, oh, okay, well, I'll just wait till I'm 40. No, you don't have a lot of time. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You have to live every day like, this might be the last podcast.
Yeah.
So what are we going to say? Because what if this was the last opportunity to say something? What if this is your last? You better say what you got to say.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You better do what you got to do. What if this was your last opportunity to wake up, get your equipment out, and record something? You better record it and make it the best you can make it.
Yeah.
Because that's what artistry is all about. Because you know what? We don't have a lot of time, but art lives forever. And music lives forever.
Yeah.
My brother told me once, he was like mad at me. He was like, oh, well, you should be hanging out with the family. You know, this music shit ain't forever. Quote, end quote. I'm like, actually, this music shit is forever. And unfortunately, that was me being very selfish in that moment, because sometimes as a creator, as an artist, if you really want to get ahead, you have to sacrifice things. And often, the first thing that gets sacrificed is time with family. And you have to like lock yourself up in a room, and your brothers and your uncles and your cousins and your wives and your daughters, and your sons, they're just never going to understand.
Yeah.
They're never going to understand. But that's what it takes to break through and become great.
Now I'm interested in this one. So it says you left the country to play guitar with Stu in Abu Dhabi. Who or was Stu?
Stu is a pivotal Jedi in my origin story. A Jedi Master, in fact, who taught me the Force. When I was in college at the University of Arizona, this is a long story. I'm going to see if I can give you the quick version.
You're good.
I'm in college. I get inspired by this show that was going on in New York. It was on Broadway. It won a Tony Award for the best book, music, and lyrics. The individual that wrote it, his name is Stu. Stu is from L.A. He's a brother out of like maybe South Central L.A., right? I think he went to like, he might even went to like L.A. High or something, you know, like smack dab L.A., born and raised. He left America, he left California, and he went to find himself as an artist in Europe. And that story inspired me. That's what the show was about, right? And Spike Lee actually took the show and turned it into a movie. And there's a movie of the performance. It's a live performance. And the music was completely not what I thought a musical should be. And at the time, you know, I thought a musical was in this box, and he taught me a musical could be outside of this box and really just focus on the music. It doesn't have to be so traditional, so showtimes, you know, show tunes. It can be very hip. It could be very real. It could be very current. It could be very modern. It could be bluesy. It can have soul. It can have jazz. Like, that was like the first time I realized, okay, wait a second. There's no limit to what you can do. So he inspired me to write my own script. So the Renaissance artist in me starts writing a script, right? And I ended up starring in the script, wrote a character for myself as the narrator, much like his story had a narrator. He was narrating his story. So I was inspired by him. I wrote my own piece. It's called High Crimes, a new musical. It is available on all streaming platforms, but it's not under Damian Lemar Hudson. It's under original cast recording. So you can't find it unless you have those details. But great music, blues, jazz. I put the musical out. We put it up in Tucson, Arizona. We sold out 3 nights in a row. It's fantastic. The next day I graduated. Boom. I'm like, okay, well, now what the fuck am I going to do with my life? I just graduated the University of Arizona. Now what am I going to do? And the light bulb went off in my head to email Stu. I got in touch with Stu's publicist. I said, hey, Stu really inspired me to write this show. It'd mean the world to me if, you know, he'd listen to it. 2 hours later, Stu himself emails me back talking about Space Blues, which is my sophomore album, my sophomore release at the time, which nobody knows about because I took it off. I wiped it from the internet. And
I want to listen to that.
yeah, it's called Space Blues. It's wild. And he was talking about how visionary it was. And he was like, wow, this is incredible. You should come to New York and audition for my new show. And I came out to New York and auditioned for his new show. I got a part at the prestigious Public Theater in Manhattan, New York. I was 22, 21. Making more money as an actor in New York than I've made as a hip-hop artist in Los Angeles, California.
Wow.
That's kind of a stretch. But there's some truth to that, right? There's some truth to that. And I was blessed. And I was on the train. And I was learning the Jedi ways. Stu was like, okay, well, you can't just, you know, play piano. You should play guitar too. And you should play drums. And you should over here and hop on the bass. And he literally taught me to play every instrument. Well, not taught me to play every instrument, but encouraged me to play every instrument. Really encouraged the Renaissance artist within me. Fast forward 4 years in New York. Countless performances with bands, and I had my own band, pardon me.
You're all good.
For a minute. Had my own band, Alternative Blues. That was a lot of fun. We put out 2 albums. That's available on all streaming platforms. I kept writing scripts, kept writing musicals, kept writing albums, solo albums, mixing for people, photography, taking videos, editing videos, taking pictures, learning artistry, just being an artist, but working a 9 to 5 at restaurants, making some great money, working 9 to 5 at restaurants. More money than I made as a musician. No, I'm just kidding. But there's some truth to that. But that's the truth. But New York, I was making a lot of money. That's all I'm trying to say. And it was good. And then Stu was like, okay, we're going to Abu Dhabi. And there's a new piece we're working on. Do you want to come? I was like, hell yeah, I want to come. So I brought my guitar.
Yeah.
And I went out there with my iPad, and everything kind of changed once I stepped out of America for the first time. That was 2016. It was November 1st. And I left, went to Abu Dhabi, and we stayed on New York University's campus in Abu Dhabi.
Wow.
And I learned so much just about people and about culture and about life. And I kind of had like this reawakening, like this, Voyager chapter 2 kind of moment. Like, okay, it's about to get real, because I knew in the back of my head when I came back after that trip, I wasn't necessarily going back to New York. I was going to go to LA, and I was going to start my journey as a hip hop artist in LA. I already had my mind set. So I was out there in Abu Dhabi, like just really training my mind mentally, training my hands creatively, playing the guitar, shredding some amazing guitar for this amazing project that Stu was writing on the spot. And we were all there, once again, I'm absorbing like the writing process, and he's a Tony Award winning writer. He's an amazing man. He has an amazing collaborator named Heidi. She plays bass. And Joe McGinty was there. He plays piano. I did a lot of gigs with Joe McGinty in New York, at the Losers Lounge and at the Public Theater and the pub. So it was real magical being out there. Met some amazing people, met some amazing artists. Fell in love. It was a wild spiritual time that lasted about 2 weeks, maybe less than that. And then I came to LA. Started working with Bob. Shout out Bob, my brother. I love you if you're listening.
You've had a crazy life. Like what I've heard from you. It's very interesting to hear, like listen, because it's different than my life. It's different than his life. It's different, like everyone has a different life.
And that's why I call myself the Voyager.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think through traveling the world, not only do we learn the most about ourselves, but we learn the most about our creative abilities. We learn the most about other creatives, and we're inspired by other creatives. You got to get out the world and see it. It was Dave Brubeck being outside of America that inspired Take 5.
Dave Brubeck is my favorite all-time jazz musician. The Dave Brubeck Quartet, 100%.
Well, there you go. Yeah. Shout out to Dave Brubeck in the chat.
Is that okay? Is that then why he made the Impressions albums, like Impressions of Tokyo, I believe, or Japan? Impressions. There's a few of them.
Dave Brubeck went on record saying pretty much exactly what I'm saying. One of the greatest classes, scratch it. The best class I ever took in my life was jazz history at the University of Arizona.
Awesome.
And I just fell in love with jazz. But there's a Ken Burns documentary you can take yourself, gentlemen, and watch every episode. It's like the history of jazz, Ken Burns. And I'm pretty sure Dave Brubeck has a moment in that where he talks about traveling the world and being inspired by other sounds and incorporating those sounds into your stuff. Because art is a reflection of the world and our experiences, right? More success is a reflection of everything that I've been through in the industry, putting out the directions for individuals to go, like, hey, don't go this way. Make a left right here, make a right here. This is more success. If you want more success in Los Angeles, California as a recording artist, this album is for you. Listen to it, study it, because I'm giving you some cheat codes and I'm giving you some shortcuts to avoid some bullshit. Yeah. Because it's very hard to run this game and to be a part of this game and to find success in this game. But success is what you make it. My greatest success is being a good husband and great father. This message is for any bitch boy that breaks my daughter's heart. You got a head start because I was slaughtered. This is the spirit, the Holy Father. So why bother? Like all the comments. I'm not giving you hecklers. I'm not giving you comments. I'm not giving you bounce. Sounces and bounces of more success. Mixed by a Kapner. How typical. And a house full of angels. Is that biblical? I'm not religious. I'm spiritual. But more success is a motherfucking miracle to anyone that finds more success and to anyone that finds more success in whatever that is to them. Right? Man, as long as I can wake up and my daughter is happy and my wife is happy, that's a big win for me. That's real success right there for me because
The most success.
that's a challenge.
Yeah.
It's extremely challenging to even do that. You know, look at the divorce rate across the world. Look at couples. Look at the programming in social media. I mean, they literally program you to lure yourself into lust outside of your relationship. They set you up to fail. You know,
Isn't that
scandal
crazy?
and
Yeah.
sex is the constant tabloid, and betrayal and, deceit is the constant drug that people consume when it comes to content because they enjoy drama more than something good happening, more than, someone helping someone, a man standing out in the middle of the road asking for help. Hey, I'm holding a sign. I have depression. Someone please help me. Someone please help me. 100 people walk by. He flips the sign around. Free money. Take this money. Free money. Everybody runs right up to him and takes the money.
Yeah.
People just want something for them. People just want something they can eat and consume and hoard and chew up and spit out and shit out and do it again and again and again. Don't be that person.
I agree.
Be a creator. Create something.
And be yourself.
And be yourself.
Yeah.
Be yourself, most importantly.
Thank you, man. Thank you for your time for doing this.
It was great.
It's a great setting, great talk.
Indeed.